Okay, I am so sorry. I'm talking to myself. Once again, good morning. Good morning. I don't know why my microphone is muted, but anyway, good morning. It's July 29, 2021. It's a Thursday, and it is a rainy morning out here in Lipa. It was raining all night. I hope you are all staying safe, strong, healthy, and COVID-free. Okay, July 29, Thursday, marami po tayong pag-uusapan. But first, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. Department of Finance and the National Economic Development Authority or NEDA and business groups back 2-week lockdown. Yun po, no? Lenny, Ping, Gordon meet for possible alliances. Petesio assured of a bronze medal. COVID-19 is in the 4,470-something boundary. The Department of Health says still no Delta surge in NCR. Now, for the meat of the headline, business leaders expressed support for the proposed 2-week lockdown to counter the spread of the Delta variant. If you recall, Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Joey Concepcion, said it's wise to implement the lockdown in August since it's usually a slow period for business. He said that here on Agenda, and but just last night, President Duterte announced that NCR and other areas will remain under GCQ with heightened restrictions until August 15. So, yung pinangangambahan nating lahat na hard lockdown, mukhang until August 15, watch, wait, and see muna. And I guess prudence is the better part of valor. Meanwhile, the Philippines secures another medal in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Filipina boxer Nesty Petesio is guaranteed of at least a bronze medal after beating Colombia in the women's featherweight quarterfinal. Super bilis ang kanyang kamao. She is 2 wins shy from taking another Olympic gold for the Philippines. Sana nawa. Okay? This is the first time since 1932 that the country won multiple medals in the Olympics. Okay? And finally, Vice President Leni Robredo is making moves to forge a broad alliance for the upcoming elections. Her camp confirmed that Robredo met with Senators Panfilo Lacson, Dick Gordon, and Senate President Tito Soto last week. The senators refused to disclose the details of their meetings. And of course, just a side note to that, medyo si former Senator Antonio Trillanes medyo mainit ang ulo because Senator Trillanes said, you know, if Vice President Robredo is going to support Ping Lacson, then the Magdalo camp is not going to support the opposition or the candidacy of Ping Lacson because Trillanes is convinced that Lacson was part of the group who pushed for the imprisonment or detention of Senator Laila de Lima. I have to be honest, that's news to me. And Senator Trillanes has agreed to come to the program for the first time. So let's find out his side of the story because it's a story that not many people know. So we will find out. Okay. In the meantime, the quote of the day, medyo pakinggan nyo po sana ito ng maigi. It is important because we all make this mistake, and I am so guilty of this, so much so that I want to make a commentary on this before the program, if time will allow us, okay? The quote of the day comes from one of the founding fathers of the United States, Benjamin Franklin, okay? Never ruin an apology with an excuse. Huwag mong sirain yung iyong paghingi ng patawad dahil nagbibigay ka ng dahilan. Huwag kang magdahilan kung hihingi ka ng patawad. If you're sorry, be sorry. You know, I have time and again been guilty of this, and I hope those of you watching will be very honest about it. Kasi there have been times when alam ko lang mali, I know I've done something wrong or something stupid or hurtful or annoying, and I would say sorry to my wife or to my daughter or to both of them at the same time, but then I will coming up with reasons. Well, you know, I wouldn't have done that if you hadn't said this, or you know, I was just trying to do this, or this is where I'm coming from, or because you know you didn't do your part, etc. You had one job but you didn't do it. And my daughter, yung daughter ko medyo pilosopo rin eh. She would go, keep digging, Papa, keep digging, you know, keep digging until you bury yourself. And that's what we end up doing. When we come up with an excuse for something we did wrong, while we are saying sorry for something we did wrong, essentially, it is a self-canceling equation, and it simply says, we're not sorry. Now, where am I coming from? And please, no, alam naman ito ni attorney and legal, presidential legal advisor Sal Panelo. I have no bone to pick with him. One time nga, we even saw each other in Boracay and we had a very intimate moment. Hindi kami nag-kissing scene, ano? May intimate. Kumbaga, we opened ourselves up to each other, and I think we became the better for it. And, you know, I just want to comment because Attorney Sal Panelo was interviewed on ANC, and in that interview I will quote para hindi na lang ako demanda dito. Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo yesterday apologized to weightlifter and Olympic gold medalist Heidelin Diaz for the pain caused by her inclusion in the Matrix about a supposed plot to oust President Duterte. Panelo, however, insisted that Malacanang should not be sorry for the release of the Matrix because Diaz was not accused of seeking to discredit the government. So kumbaga, yung ginawa niyang yon, hindi tungkol kay Heidelin, kung hindi para sa gobyerno. Granted, okay. I'm sorry, I'm sad to know that Heidelin was hurt. I'm sorry for it, Panelo told ANC yesterday. But I'm telling Heidelin, if she is watching, it was not the intention. I think of those who created the Matrix. Your name was just included because the one involved was your fan. That is why I'm saying sorry for that thing if she was hurt by, but I think it was not intentional. You know, whatever the reasons may be, okay? Here's the sad part in all of this, okay? When that came out, Heidelin Diaz was hurt, was fearful, was placed in a very difficult spot because she was an Air Force officer, she was a national athlete, and she's a citizen in a government that is, publicly acknowledged as very vengeful, if not violent. I'm sorry, I'm just calling it the way it is, okay? Now, here's the problem here. You say something and it hurts someone, and you say sorry 2 years or 1 year and a half later, the timing is wrong, too late. Kumbaga, too little, too late. Now, it's admirable. Admirable na. Sal Panelo stepped up and faced the music. But he's like someone who did not, kumbaga, ruins the apology with an excuse. Okay, so not enough with Sal Panelo. I just want to point out a few things. No? Kasi, sorry, Attorney Sal Panelo, friends naman sana tayo, and I'm just using this because we all make the same mistake. We all ruin things for others, and we all have at one point or another or regularly, whether to our wife, our children, our office mate, our workers, we hurt people almost on a regular basis. Ito po ang masama. Yung sinasabi ng mga, lalo na kaming sa mga media, sorry, tao lang po. Okay? I'm just human. Sorry, but medyo, that doesn't cut it. Okay? Saying sorry, tao lang po, especially us in media, no, we are accountable to a higher standard. So when we say sorry, we just say, sorry, I made a mistake. I have made mistakes about, like when I mentioned that Lipa was under so-and-so quarantine classification. It turned out mali-mali yung sabi ko. I apologized immediately the following day. It's a matter of timing. The minute you know you did something wrong, said something wrong, or hurt someone, then step up, okay? And I think it would help if you step up and analyze the situation and be your worst critic. It's not enough that kasi I hurt his feelings, I have to apologize. No, you have to understand how you hurt a person's feelings and the injury it caused to that other person. And once you've done that, and try to also understand why you do it. Kasi alam nyo, mag-sorry hanggang kamatayan, pero if you don't try to figure out, why do I do this? Why do I perpetually do this? Then you will be able to confront an even bigger demon in your life, okay? Which is basically what's causing you to be an excuse addict. You always say sorry, but you never really address the reason. So, find out why you do it, understand the injury, the hurt, etc. And then once you've done that, then figure out why you keep doing it. Now, that's one part. The other part is immediately go to the person. Sorry po, pot, no offense man. But apologies must be personal. The only time it can be national is if somebody said something or did something wrong as a national leader. Pero kasulad, ito na naman, may magagalit na naman sa akin. Yung, I am sorry. If you remember that, di ba? Parang si Bill Clinton, di ba? I did not have sex. Parang, hello, if you're going to say sorry, period. Wala nang qualification, wala nang explanation, wala nang, this is on me. Okay, yun. I hope I never have to reach that point in my life. God help me, God preserve me. But anyway, make the apology to the person directly and immediately. Huwag po tayo yung ika nga magsusorry tayo 2 years later, magsusorry tayo through channels, etc., through through other people. It says in the Bible, if you have an issue, go straight to the individual, go to the person, go to your brother or your sister and say sorry. Don't do it through channels, okay? And kung ayaw pa rin, then bring someone para malaman ng tao na eto witness ka, nagsusorry ako, I'm really making an effort. Kung hindi pa rin tanggapin, it's on them na, it's not on you anymore. Now, wait a minute, yung isa pa, yung I'm saying sorry because I hurt their feelings, but I still believe in what I did, or what I did has nothing to do with that person. let's not make our victims collateral damage. Kasi parang pumalpak ka na o nagkamali ka na, nakasakit ka na, nagdahilan ka pa at sinabi mo pang yung dahilan mo, or you're basically saying, after saying sorry, but it is not about you. Parang anak ng ewan. I don't know, a lot of people who go, it's not you, it's me. Sorry, so who got hurt? Diba? Who got hurt in that? If I say, it's not about you, it's me. I mean, but the person will say, yeah, it may be about you, but I'm the one who lost my job. I'm the one who had to hide. I'm the one who has been in weeping and moaning for years, etc. So let's not overstate the matter or just crucify Sal Panelo on this, because I've always believed that God uses certain things for us to learn. Okay? And in this case, I'm sure kahit na nag-atitigas-tigasan, even if Sal Panelo puts up his lawyer face or draws the lawyer card or the lawyer stance, he's still human. And deep down, he wouldn't have said, I'm sorry, if he wasn't really sorry. Now, if he's saying sorry, or you yourselves or I would be saying sorry because I don't want my wife to kick me out of the house, or I don't want the cocinera not to cook dinner because she got hurt, and I have to say sorry. Well, that doesn't cut it, okay? Don't say sorry because you have motives or because you have something to lose, okay? Say sorry because the person matters and because the action was wrong. In fact, I remember a teaching, some pastor or some person taught me about this and said, Cito, the difference between repentance and regret. Regret is you're sorry you did something stupid, but it ends there. Repentance is understanding, realizing, and looking deep, diving deep into what you did and hating it. Hating it for what it has done to others and what it made you do or what it turned you into. Repentance is revulsion. Talagang ikinasusuklam ko, kinahihiya ko yung ginawa ko. Sorry po, no, nag-editorial ako. But this is such a beautiful opportunity for all of us. Whether you are yellow, whether you are white, red, brown, black, this is an important lesson for all of us, It is not just about Panelo. It is not just about Hidilyn Diaz. It is not about politics. It's our human condition. We need to say sorry. And when you say sorry, it starts to heal things. Whether you are the president of the republic, whether you are a janitor in the company, we all need to say sorry. I remember at one point when I visited a politician who was in jail, and I said, I'm so sorry for saying all those things about you, given the fact that you are a person of authority or were a person of authority. And that politician just basically said, you don't have to say sorry because now I am not a politician, I am a prisoner. But we became very good friends and I began to understand this person better. Take time to understand the things you've said and done to cause pain, hurt, and suffering in people's lives. And even if all is okay na, kumbaga parang hiya mo na yan, kalimutan mo na, you still need to say sorry. Because I'll tell you this, in the major fights in my life, when I actually said sorry, even when I was the injured party in my mind, ako yung nagulangan, ako yung nasaktan, ako yung naisahan, and yet I apologize for the bad things I said and wished upon those people. Guess what? Those people, in the end, became very good friends, and up to now, some of them are lifelong friends, and they have been a blessing in my life. Sabi nga, your enemy can become your best friend. Okay, tama na po. Yung preaching ni Kuya Cito, para akong pastor, Sorry, I just couldn't resist it. But actually, I had to fill that space. Now, let's go to our first interview. We have with us our regular on the program, Professor Guido David. Guido David of the OCTA Research Group. Prof. Guido, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Cito. You're looking good there sa Hindi yata maulan dyan.
No, ulan ang ulan, pero
Ulan
makulay
na.
kasi malinis lahat na
Mali.
hugasan.
Buti naman. At least green
Oh,
na
okay, Prof. Guido, I'm just gonna have to ask you very pointed questions because inuulan ako ng mga text dito. There are questions. First and foremost, people are wondering how or why the OCTA Research Group is on the front line or ahead of the pack in calling for a 2-week hard lockdown. Kasi, and I'll explain, ito yung mga sinasabi nila. Hindi ba research group lang sila? Hindi ba they are essentially just verifying and giving information for guidance? Why is the OCTA Research Group now taking the lead in calling for lockdowns? Is this a voluntary move by the OCTA Research Group, or is this I have to say it, sorry, orchestrated action on the OCTA Research, government, etc. para mapaghandaan ng tao mentally yung magiging lockdown?
Yeah. Very valid questions. Alam mo naman tayo, Cito, we're very transparent dito. Wala naman kami tinatago sa iyo. And we have said repeatedly in this program, we do this for public service. Bakit kami nauuna magsabi ng we do research, yes. We analyze data. We've been doing this for more than 1 year. May mga nagsasabi, hindi naman kami eksperto. I would disagree. Actually, I would say na, kami yung nakakita ng trends that some do not see. Hindi ako nagmamalaki. Sinasabi ko lang based on the history. I mean, nung nagkaroon tayo ng surge no March, we were alerting everyone. February pa lang. It's documented. Nasa media, nasa interviews, nasa news, nasa online. Na we saw the surge coming and we wanted to act on it early. And we did not act on it early kasi reactive yung response natin. So we are very concerned kasi we're seeing the same signs ngayon, telltale signs. And we saw that mga 2 weeks ago na. When there was the first confirmation ng local case ng Delta variant, we were very concerned, sabi natin. In fact, we had an interview before. So sabi natin, let's prepare for that. Ganon. I mean, kami, of course, we're not the government, we're not the official government body, or we're not even the official government na nagre-recommend sa government. It's the IATF and the Department of Health. Kami, we're an independent research group monitoring these things. If we see na nag-alert naman yung government or yung itong mga concerned institutions, hindi na kami kikabo because, that's what we want. We want to help. If they're alert to this, fine, okay lang, walang problem. Bakit kami nangunguna? It's because we're not seeing any proactive moves right now, and we are doing our public civic duty as Filipinos because concerned tayo to inform the mayors, inform the and they listen. I mean, yung mga Metro Manila mayors natin, they also see this kasi they have people on the ground. We see this in hospitals na nagkakaroon na ng increases in cases. We're seeing this in the LGUs. They're telling us that they're having increase in cases. We're seeing this in the numbers on Department of Health. So this is being confirmed. So yung lockdown, I mean, that's a suggestion. It could be any type of, intervention. Ang sinasabi lang natin, right now, what we're seeing is the interventions that we have are not working to the best it could be kasi tumatas pa rin yung cases. Yan lang naman. Yun yung sinasabi natin. So, based on the numbers, dumadami pa rin cases. So, maybe we have to introduce more interventions. If they don't want lockdown, they can introduce something. Yes, we're just giving our suggestion kasi, I mean, if we crack our brains, ano pa yung pwede natin gawin? Testing, tracing, lahat, we have thought about everything. So, ito yung masasuggest natin. And
kumbaga, you did all the computations, you've done all the calculations, the projections, but it's all becomes useless until it amounts to some form of valid action. Okay, now here's my question. What's happening is the president said the lockdown or Metro Manila will remain under the current status of GCQ with heightened restrictions up to August 15. Now, if I listen to what Ranjit Rai was saying, Professor Rai was saying, and you've been saying, and Father Nick Austriaco has been saying, you've all been pushing na gawin the sooner the better. Even Joey Concepcion has been saying this. The sooner, the sooner the better. Now, everyone was under the impression it was going to happen either today or on Monday. But as it turns out, it's going to be on August 15. Our battle against surges is won and lost by weeks. Would August 15 be too late? Would the damage be far greater or the infections be far greater by August 15? Because your projections or the OCTA projections has been that by the end of August or August 30, we're going to have 10,000 daily rates.
Well, to answer your question, Tito, I'll put it in perspective. And ito rin yung reason why what we're saying, and that's why si Joey Concepcion is on board, because he realized the science behind it and the reasoning, the logic. Let's look back at yung surge last year, nung August. So when we had the surge, nag-lockdown tayo, it was only 2 weeks. We were able to control the cases in 2 weeks. And then after that, bumaba na. Nag-lockdown tayo at around less than 2,000 cases. At, I think around 1,500, 1,600 cases or so. Pero umabot siya ng mga 2,000 plus. Because once you have the lockdown, tataas pa rin naman siya. Hindi naman agad-agad bababa yung cases. We know that as a fact based on history. So nung last year, it was a 2-week lockdown and it was effective. This year, we waited too long or we waited longer. Nung nag-lockdown tayo, we were at 4,000 plus cases. Umabot siya ng 5,000. The lockdown was for 5 to 6 weeks. So mas matagal. The economic impact on business owners is bigger pag matagal yung lockdown mo. I mean, that's common sense. So 6 weeks versus 2 weeks, there's a trade-off. So if you wait too long, yung lockdown mo may need to be longer because your cases are higher. It will take more time to bring down the cases. This is this is science. We're just talking science here, not politics or anything.
There is empirical data because last year we did it also in August, but we did it earlier, at the 2,000 cases per day level.
Yes.
Now it's already end July. If we wait too long, we are going to have much higher numbers. So is it too late for August 15?
Right. Right now we're averaging 1,000. So kumbaga, right now would be earlier than last year, nung August last year. And bakit earlier? Because for one thing, may mga the Delta variant, it's more contagious. Secondly, yun nga, if we do it earlier, maybe 1 week lang, okay na. I mean, that's our position. Maybe 1 week lang. Or maybe we could be creative. Vaccinated people are allowed. Now, kung umabot ng August 15, I'm very transparent. So sasabihin ko naman na it would be earlier than no March. So hindi naman tayo aabot pa ng I think hindi pa naman tayo aabot ng 4,000 cases by August 15. But it will be later than nung last year. So it's somewhere
Okay.
in between. So it's
So,
not
so
very, very late, but it's not. But we would prefer it earlier para mas maiksi. Because if we see it coming, why not do it now instead of waiting and then do it later? Parang yun lang yung
So,
point.
so what I'm getting from your explanation is, whether you do it March, April, May, June, July, August is irrelevant. What we need to do is institute the circuit breaker or lockdowns whenever we reach a certain number of cases that is alarmingly or unusually fast in its rise.
Exactly, Cito. But in this case, parang we were calling it earlier because nung February we could have called it earlier, pero we waited a little longer. Even kami, we wanted to confirm na talagang may trend na increasing. So even we waited mga 1 week later. So ngayon, we still have a window. We can wait siguro 1 week. I mean, and I say that, and it's okay if the government wants to wait and see na, ay tumataas nga talaga. But
Yeah.
if we wait 1 week, then 1 week, and if we see the rise in numbers, dapat we should be ready to put on the brakes or whatever we have to do. So okay lang sa akin yan. I mean,
Yeah.
let them see the numbers that we're saying will happen, and then let's react. Pero August 15 might, yung 1 week na yun, that could add 2 weeks of lockdown. So, I'm just saying based on sa numbers na nakikita natin.
So kumbaga there's an escalation rate by the weekly delay. Now, here's my problem in all of this. As I step back, you guys are making your forecasts, your estimates, projections based on DOH information, IATF information provided to you. Now, almost every other day, or ewan ko, I don't want to exaggerate, but that's my impression. At least in the last week, every other day I've heard DOH officials say there were 5 laboratories who failed to send in their reports. There were X laboratories, and then, oh, sorry, but the Genome Center does not have sufficient logistics to do a wide testing. How does this throw off or skew your projections? Kasi kung may 5 laboratoryong hindi nagpadala, tapos hindi limitado pa yung naggagawa ng genome sequencing, I mean, how accurate is the data available? Could it possibly be much worse than we are officially stating?
Tito, it could be much worse. And I'm not saying this to fearmonger or to scare people. I'm saying this as a fact. Yung genome sequencing that we do, when we get the results, it's 2 to 3 weeks old. It's not current data. So we're looking at the past. So kung sinabi na,
Wow.
okay, may 55 cases na Delta variant, that's 3 weeks ago. What about today? We don't know that today. We have to make assumptions. We have to make projections. Or we just assume na it's more widespread now than in the past. Also, we're only genome sequencing 100 cases per day on average. When we have mga 6,000 on average cases. So that's mga less than 2% of the cases. But we can estimate that based on statistical sampling. Sabihin natin, okay, ito yung percentage ng Delta variant. And based on our estimate, 7% of cases are Delta variant. If it's true, then we have mga 70 at least cases of Delta variant in Metro Manila right now, or maybe more. Kasi yun nga, we're even looking at it in the past. It could be more. It could be 10% now. But malaking margin of error nito because we're not doing enough genome sequencing. May limitations tayo. We're not blaming friends ko yung mga nasa Philippine Genome Center. So we know the limitations that we have. And they're doing the best that they can. But what I'm saying is, when we have data na ganyan medyo may mga flaws, may inaccuracies, hindi real time. We can't be reactive lang to the present situation. We have to be more proactive. Yun yung ina-argue namin.
Okay.
Let's look into the future. Let's think ahead and plan this ahead instead of pag dumating na and the position right now, and I understand this is the position of the Department of Health. They're basing it on healthcare utilization. Pag dumaming nasa hospital, then they will lock down. But we can't wait for that to happen. Kasi pag dumaming nasa hospital, that means the situation is also already very bad. Which is what we did exactly last March. Hinintay natin dumami nasa hospital. Ang dami na ng cases, umaapo na. And I don't even know how accurate yung hospital data na, because based on their hospital data, it says 70% utilization. Pero on the ground, what we hear is yung mga tao, they can't get into hospitals. They have to go to, region 3, region 4, or outside to get hospital. Or
Okay. Prof. Guido, let's go for a quick break here. When we return, let's talk about the difference of opinion between the DOH and the OCTA Research Group regarding surges, regarding hospital utilization, and also the suggestion of Father Nick Austriaco that maybe we should cut the lull or the incubation period between inoculations. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and with us is Professor Guido David of the OCTA Research Group. Professor Guido, there's a question that was raised this morning. Who is OCTA Research, and what official function do they have in this entire scenario of fighting COVID-19? Kasi parang you guys started out as, and forgive the simplification, as statisticians now or mathematical projections. But sino ba talaga yung OCTA, and what is your official function in the scheme of things?
Right. Tama ka, Cito. We're really a surveying company. I'm a mathematician. I'm a biomedical engineer. I did my PhD in the U.S. in Texas. Si Professor Ranchit, you could say na he's the founder of OCTA Research. So it's mainly a surveying company that we started. Fellow ako. But we have since expanded. We have several fellows na mga medical doctors who contribute to the study. So, nung nag-start yung pandemic, so we decided to lend our, you could say our services or to the public, to the national government, to the media. So we do it. We, undertake these discussions, these research as independent researchers. So yun yung and ano yung role namin. Well, to be honest, Vito, if ako personally, if I think there is no need for us If the other agencies are doing what they have to do, okay lang sa akin. I'll focus on other things. I'm doing this as public service. But we're not totally satisfied with the response that we're seeing. And so parang, I'm just like you. I'm not even like you. You're a media personality. I'm just an ordinary person. I have some skill sets that I think I can use to help the country. So why
Pero
not?
Prof Guido, I think the long and short of it is you guys do these studies, mathematical, biomedical, mathematical studies, projections, and surveys to guide the public. It is a publicly available effort and information. And with all due respect and compliments to your group, because obviously the government would not be consulting with you, would not be inviting you into their meetings in the IATF and asking you for your opinions if you were not legitimate. So clearly, you are legitimate, and for all intents and purposes, I do hope that you remain apolitical. Now, having said that,
Oh,
kasi
we are.
maubusan tayo ng oras, Doc. May I know why is there the suggestion na iksian daw yung bakunahan? Father Nick Austriaco said they would rather that the vaccination between two jabs be reduced to 14 days based on a study done abroad compared to the current 3 weeks.
Yes, and Father Nick is our fellow in OCTA Research, and even within OCTA Research, sometimes we have these, we're academics then, so we have discussions. Sometimes we don't exactly, agree with everything that's being said by other fellows. This is but we're always basing it on science. But of course, sometimes science, iba-iba rin yung evidence that we can get. And this is a suggestion by Father Nick to accelerate the vaccination program, especially sa NCR. Because in a way, one of the possible strategies we can have, kung sabi natin, let's not lock down, but we can accelerate at least the vaccination rollout. This would be a viable strategy. Once we have more vaccinated people, mas Delta resilient tayo. I can't say now we're Delta proof, but at least we will be able to manage the Delta variant better. Ngayon, I haven't seen the studies that he cited, so I think na based on the studies, pag iksiyan yung interval between the first and the second dose, the effectivity may still be maybe approximately the same. Ang alam kasi natin, or at least ang alam ko, generally the longer the time between the first and the second dose, the better it is in terms of antibody levels. That's what I know. I'm just saying, yun yung mga nakita kong studies. But perhaps he has found some other studies na nagsasabing, if we shorten the period, the interval, baka same pa rin yung efficacy or there's just a slight reduction. I wouldn't believe na mag-increase yung efficacy. And that way, we can accelerate the vaccination rollout sa NCR and protect more people from the virus. That being said, there's also a study, and I have to be transparent, na sinasabi nila sa Israel, because they use 3 weeks intervals, it might cause a shorter period of protection. Ibig sabihin, but then we know din naman we're aware na baka 6 months nagwe-wane na yung protection ng vaccines and we might need booster shots. So there are many studies. Sometimes some of them don't exactly complement each other. So kaya inaaral natin yung mga yan.
Okay.
But at least I see the point of Father Nick na it's to protect more people in the NCR, especially since andyan na yung threat of the Delta variant.
Okay, I will make sure to call on you again, Professor Guido David, because my other big concern are the provinces. How will this turn out for the provinces? Ako nasa Lipa, Batangas, and medyo parang nararamdaman ko yung bang pagkadehado ng mga nasa probinsya. kasi we have concentrated on the NCR, will there be a big price to pay if we prolong this limited vaccination in the provinces? Quick answer, yes or no?
Um, I think no naman. I don't think it will be a big price to pay based on what we're seeing sa history, sa data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you,
Guido.
Tita. Thank you
Yes,
for always being,
headmaster.
transparent and everything.
Okay, thank you very much. And that's Professor Guido David of the UP OCTA Research Group. And from here, let's go to our next guest. Last July 17, the Philippines celebrated the National Physiatry Day. Hindi po physiatry, ha? Ewan ko, baka physiatry. Alam ko, physiatry or physiatry day. Ano ba yun? Let's find out from our next guest. He is Dr. Raul Cembrano, Chief of the Department of Rehab at the Philippine Orthopedic Center. Dr. Cembrano, good morning to you, sir.
Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning. Apo.
Okay, relax lang tayo. Kwentuhan lang tayo, Doc Sembrano. Ako ay pediatric patient dati ng Philippine Orthopedic Center nung aking nabasag yung aking balakang habang naglalaro ng jump rope. Anyway, ano ba itong physiatry or physiatry day na ito? I don't know how to pronounce it.
That's actually physiatrist. Okay, physiatry. Physiatry is a specialization in medicine wherein it really deals with rehabilitation medicine, or what you call physical and rehabilitation medicine. So what we usually do is we assist the patient return to their function based on the comorbidities and the sequelae or yung sinasabi natin aftermath ng mga problema na. Like for example po sa inyo, kung napian kayo noon, we try to, as much as possible with the help of our colleagues in physical therapy and occupational therapy, assess or assist you to return to function. So yun yung main agenda ng Physiatry. And the reason why we celebrated the National Physiatry Days because it's actually July 17 to 23 was actually the National Disability Prevention and Rehabilitation Week. And it is fitting for us to start kahit papaano po is the role of the doctors in rehabilitation of patients or physical rehabilitation of patients.
Okay, Dr. Sembrano, when people talk about rehab, they always tend to think of it in terms of sports, in terms of athletes, and I'm talking to you, you're with the Philippine Orthopedic. Now, parang naiisip namin lagi, buto, muscle, at saka sports. But in the real world of physiatry and rehabilitation, ano ba yung tinatamaan? What is the scope of rehab? Who are the people who need to undergo rehab?
Actually po, rehabilitation starts from from the time they had the condition or the disease, or sabihin na lang po natin stroke or spinal cord injury or traumatic brain injury or even the fracture, no? All the way down to the point that the patient is able to return to function or return to work, or even pag wala na sila masyadong complaints in terms of activities of daily living. So yun, po kalaki yung scope po ng rehabilitation. So hindi lang po sinasabi natin na papasok lang siya para lang pa-therapy, hindi lang po yun kasi marami pa po kaming iisipin. Like for example po, kung paano ito nagkaroon ng epekto sa buhay ng pasyente, at paano natin magabayan sila na kahit paano mabalik sa kanilang function, yung sinasabi nga natin function.
It's interesting you mentioned that because many of our viewers and my readers in the Philippine Star know that about 2 months ago, if I'm not mistaken, or a month and a half ago, I had the accident where I had a metal grinder slice my foot, the sole of my foot, under the calf, and It was quite a big cut, very big cut, very deep. And sige, tinahe. Then I was in the hospital and I was sent home, bedridden for over a month. And my friends and family members were saying, Nako, Kuyang, you have to undergo rehab, you have to undergo therapy. And sabi ko, tigilan nyo nga ako, paalang naman to, hindi naman ako nabalian ng buto, naugatan, And now I'm realizing na parang may matigas, may namamaga, and I'm saying, how do I know, going back to this interview, what are the telltale signs that people need rehab? Kasi yung stroke, obviously, alam natin, kailangan niya ng rehab. Mga bone injury, bali-bali, kailangan ng rehab niyan at ng therapy. But what other things do we take for granted but have long-term impact?
Like for example po, sinasabi po natin, no, the mere fact na bedridden kayo or sabihin lang po natin hindi kayo nakatayo for the longest time, matandaan nyo po na kahit papaano po ang muscles po natin, kahit normal po pero nakahiga ng matagal, nagkakaroon po tayo ng tinatawag na weakening, quote-unquote. Medyo subjective weakening or sabihin na lang po natin yung yung kalamnan ninyo medyo tumigas din po. No? If you would notice, siguro sa unang mga hakbang ninyo nung bumalik na kayo sa paglalakad, medyo hirap, medyo pagod. And plus the fact na yung ating pong paglalakad, yung tinatawag natin proprioception, medyo na-diminish pag nasyado tayong immobilized. No? So, pag meron po tayong cases na nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag natin immobility, most often yun po ang kailangan natin ma-startan po. Kasi with start rehabilitation doesn't mean that we had all of these conditions already and we try to improve it. No. Rehabilitation, there's also what you call preventive aspect, no? So, kaya nga paminsan, pag hindi kayo na-operahan pa, before therapy na rin kayo, binibigyan na kayo na rehabilitation. Kasi po, gusto namin na pag na-operahan, pagbalik ninyo sa paglakad po, maiksi lang yung time na kailangan ninyo to prove yourself in the return of walking. So, ganun po, kaya sinasabi ho namin, ever since the start of condition happened, stretch all the way down to the time na babalik na po yung talagang function.
Okay, Dr. Cembrano, let's go for a very quick break, very short break. And when we come back, I want to ask you even more questions regarding therapy and rehabilitation. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Cignal TV, channels 8 and 250. And with us is Dr. Cembrano of the Department of Rehabilitation, Philippine Orthopedic Center. Doc, quick question na lang. We're down to our last 3 minutes. I've torn my hamstring. I had an operation on my calf that put me in bed for a month. I had a floating lumbosacral fusion when I was 16. Name it. I broke my hip, etc. Long-term injuries, can they actually be restored through rehabilitation or itong tinatawag mong physiatry?
Sir, majority naman po, no, malaki naman po porsyento na based on studies with rehabilitation po, naibabalik naman po kahit papaano ang pagiging normal function natin with those types of injuries that you have mentioned. Especially po, ang talagang nahabol naman namin, Like for example, sinabi nyo, nagkaroon kayo ng torn hamstring. Kahit pa paano po, may balik po yung function. At saka we don't necessarily want to say na talagang babalik kayo sa talagang almost, talagang normal, but as much as possible to the near normal extent that you have. If kung kaya naman po talagang mag-abot ng normal or almost to the normal status, then we will try to do so. No,
Okay.
yun po yung ano namin.
Now, what about saan pupunta ang mga tao? Kasi ikaw, nandiyan ka sa Philippine Orthopedic Center. Nako, kumbaga kayo ay legend, alamat, institusyon sa bali-baling buto at mga rehab. But in general, where else can people go to or turn to for help?
Okay, there are about 156 rehabilitation medicine specialists right all over the country. Most of the major hospitals right now they have specialists include there, no. So although we're trying as much as possible to kahit papaano po to extend some more, kaya nga ho tinatawag na nagkaroon kami ng National Physiotherapy Day because actually the people are there. The problem is most often hindi lang siya kilala as a specialty. And that's why we are thanking the president that we have signed the National Physiotherapy Day last year. So that's why we're able to celebrate last July 17.
Okay, well, I will make it a point, and please feel free to contact us every now and then so we can continue to talk about rehabilitation and therapy and physiatry. And of course, the Philippine Orthopedic Center na kahit pa paano meron akong history sa inyo dun sa panahon ng napakagaling at yumaong Dr. Celo. Okay, so thank you very much for your time, Dr. Raul Cembrano. Have a good day, sir.
Good day. Thank you.
Okay, that's Dr. Raul Cembrano, Department of Rehabilitation Chief, Philippine Orthopedic Center. And now let's go to our Netizen report before we close today's program.
The Department of Health confirmed the local transmission of the Delta variant in the country. We ask you if you are in favor on the imposition of stricter quarantine protocols. Mulier Fortis disagrees. Mulier says, quote, "Let the people live normal life. Stop being corona paranoid." Jonathan Aranal Sarin has another story. Jonathan believes some IATF officials are corrupt. He questions, quote, "Tayo na lang ang pinakahuli na hindi makamove on dahil sa corrupt ng mga officials ng IATF." The Department of Education is set to open school year 2021-2022 this coming September. We ask your take if all teachers and students must be fully vaccinated before classes resumed. Teacher Romel Manzano Bautista says, quote, "Teachers must be vaccinated because we are part of the working force. If we neglect them, we will not produce new graduates and professionals that will drive this struggling economy." Joseph Agbayani Kiliopa, who is also an educator, backs the proposal. Joseph asks, quote, "Considering the fact that we, the teachers, are indispensable in the educational system, we must be protected because not all the times we are at home to fulfill our duties. We need to go out for module distribution, nor report to school for duties to be tackled. On the other hand, students must also be vaccinated so that anytime, schools are ready to go back to face-to-face teaching and learning process. Due to the threat of the Delta variant, we ask parents if they are in favor of disallowing their children from leaving their houses again. Alta Gracia Tabuan supports the measure. Alta expresses, quote, "For the safety of our kids, maigi na sa bahay na lang muna sila. Mas mahirap kung ang mga bata ang tamaan ng sakit. Lalo na ngayon na mas nakakahawa daw ang Delta variant." April Rose Villafranca Aranzanzo shares the same sentiment. April says, quote, "Much better na wag na muna para din sa safety nila. Napakahirap pag sila ang tamaan ng sakit."
And that's the Netizen report for all of you. I'm Cito Beltran. Keep it here on Cignal TV channels 8 and 250 for the latest news. And we are One News.